Alright, well, we're back once more. Indeed, now we're resuming the fight with, I guess what you call these 6 kind of demi-boss, because I think the first one was just was that a fucking blue dragon of all things? And then brutal green dragon, but now we're getting to the, I guess the slightly more fearsome ones, and that, you know, though steel does not exactly count as what I would call intimidating yet. Although I will admit, back in my early level 100 days, perhaps, I think it was just the fact, as long as you, protect, alright, so you don't even have to protect range mage against this one, you just need anti-breath and you're good. And you're not. Whereas I know for a fact with the fucking, yeah, like drones, you just range, you know, safe spot. These you need to have anti-breath. The brutal, you know, that's a good question. And why is it the red one, like, no, the green one has the different attacks? Oh no, has the yeah, I'm thinking, you fucking imbecile. No, it's strange. Yeah, no. The brutal ones are actually the ones that aren't that good, because they only do mage. And you know, because I'm wondering why the fuck I'm taking so much damage. That's why. This was all avoidable. And like, you fucking moron. And like, yeah, all my time spent brutal black dragons and I didn't quite learn. And you know, it's like, holy fuck, I was just praying the wrong thing. You have Galvic to thank for, you know, that's the thing, like, the first 3 fights probably could avoid just about all the damage, and that's why I had to end up fleeing, because, yeah, if you do everything correctly, you shouldn't have, you shouldn't have taken any damage at all in the first 3 kills. It's the 3 after that that could be problematic. I think, yeah, they don't throw a brutal, they don't throw a brutal black dragon at you. Rather, they just kind of throw this one as an intermediate kind of foe. And soon as that, you get into the 3 strong metal dragons. Yeah, for some reason, the only non-metal one is indeed the blue red dragon, which is a rather odd choice indeed. And you know, but you know, actually, funnily enough, in that, you see every chromatic dragon, you know, green, blue, red, fucking hell, yeah, green, blue, red, and black. You see almost every metallic one. I think the rules you didn't include bronze because I don't know why would you not include the bronze dragons, include the greens? Not sure about that one either, that's a bit of a confusing choice. Yeah, they now get to the big ones, and that, yeah, Mithril Dragon, this is where it gets a bit more tense. And also, yeah, they do throw on brutal black dragons and that, the black ones, but they end up finding it for you. And you know, which is, this is a fun moment indeed. And but yeah, so, no, they actually do fight this one, and I accept this one's actually aimed at you, and so you can't easily, yeah, look here, look, boom, fucking distracted and dead, like fucking lol. That's just cringe wannabe. God damn. Yeah, no. So anticlimactic, I get this big moment and then just fucking dead. And yep, got to pay 100k again. No, it won't be the last thing you'll be seeing now either, so Jesus Christ. Yeah, 72 mil, oh no thank you, I'll pay 100k to keep 73 mil, thanks. So, alright, while you see all this shenanigans go on, and now yeah, I may as well continue on with the news. Now we're actually starting to round things up. Yeah, so as far as what's been going on the bowling side of things, and that, yeah, you know, I don't, no, this isn't Crumb and that, he's a guy who covers bots in his own way, but yeah, this is Colonello, I believe it is, yeah, Colonello, and that, he's one who also, I believe he actually covered the, I guess you could say a rather notorious form of bot that is the gambling bots, yes, those who make a lot of bank indeed. And you know, this whole thing in regards to how he essentially wanted to try and expose these bots and that's what they really are, which is essentially to try and, it's like kind of the same mentality with the Gielinor staking, except it's not as, how would you say, it's not as transparent in the sense that, you know, like, you know, the whole thing, oh, these are trusted, you know, people, and like, real people, and like, nah, it's bullshit. It's all algorithm arithmetic, you know, like, the way they work is that up to a certain point, you have a slightly less than 50% chance of winning, but as you start to get into, like, I don't know what it starts, somewhere around 200,000k, that 50% starts becoming to 20-30%, and then I think up to a mil, it's something like all about 5-10% chance, and beyond that, I think it's a guaranteed fail. And now, you know, it's such an, oh yeah, died again, fuck you cunt. But yeah, this whole thing in regards to, you know, getting this whole, how can you even think of the right words for it? Yeah, the whole idea of trying to target these bots and that, like, it's very strange. I don't know why Jagex, like, you know how the advertising, you know, website bots and that, they're that Scrabble now that it makes nonsense and that, like, you know, is it fuck 'em, you know, like, you've seen the whole, it makes no sense whatsoever. You'd have to be quite good to be able to decipher that properly, but fun times. But yeah, just in regards to these bots and that, they just kind of seem to slide by and that, like, you know, I don't want to get a little bit conspiratorial, but I do feel like Jagex is a little bit too, well, the only reason that goes counterintuitive is because they've been kind of lenient on bans and mutes in general for the most part, you know, regardless and that, you know, so it's kind of goes without saying that, you know, the gambling bots and that just seem to kind of just sneak on by and that, you know, they just have to do their own things. Like, if you fall for it, you know, you just treat it as, oh, you're stupid, you know, you shouldn't have fell for it kind of thing, you know. And it's like, it's interesting, and the whole, you've got rule breakers, but you don't do anything about it under the assumption that people should be just ignoring them. I don't know, that sort of thing wouldn't fly in real life. And then, of course, it's just a video game and that, but it makes you wonder, and it makes you wonder, like, you know, should people actually have, I guess you could say, this whole thing of, like, actually trying to make the game hold some form of integrity, you know, it's balanced in that, you know. Yeah, well, the whole, I don't know, it's the whole thing about greed, isn't it, at the end of the day, you know. Also, yeah, special attacks on that adamant dragon, and that, yeah, it's poison one. I actually hear it's harder to fight than the rune dragon one, which is interesting in that, you know, because that's the one I would have probably preferred to kill. Probably why the dragon plate body is actually more valuable than the fucking runic dragon's dragon crossbow. Very interesting indeed. But yeah, and you'll see right here the famed rune dragon. Not runic dragon, rune dragon. Yeah, this fearsome boss indeed. And that, yeah, level 380, so indeed, that would be technically stronger than the demonic gorillas, you know. It's like, also have these little lightning storms that follow you for a bit. It's quite the strong monster at that, I gotta say, but alas, so, just readjust that, yep, so, as far as, oh my god, alright, anyway, yes, as I was saying, as far as actually what's been going on with Colonello and that, essentially what seems to be the problem here is largely due to the bot owner. I believe goes, let me think here, yeah, it goes by the name of Workless, I believe, yeah, Workless, and his whole thing about it is just like, yeah, he was not amused, you know. I mean, funny enough, he didn't tag it almost immediately when it came out. He left it for a good few weeks and that, but yeah, eventually he came coming down hard with the whole, what is it, yeah, copyright strike and all that. Oh, classy tactic indeed. Also, yes, brutal black dragons indeed. Ah, yes, Galvic. So, this fight indeed, this, oh boy, this is going to be quite the fun one to see, eh? Oh boy, also that shift again. So, indeed, I teleport out quite wisely because I use a good bit of food. And that, yeah. But boy, I still end up dying. Spoilers, but yeah, I still end up dying because, you know, of fucking reasons. Boy, challenge to the fleet indeed. But yeah, the whole thing about this guy Workless and I was trying to hide this practice of gambling bots, even though it's kind of well known at this point, alongside the whole, you know, what's it, you know, 2 billion for, or, you know, buying expensive item, you know, you've all seen it by now. It's very much a case of, you know, this whole fucking spiel. It's, yeah, bots will do a lot of things, no, and also real train folks and that to get their supposedly hard-earned cash, but you know it's bullshit. Also, yeah, Galvite is indeed capable of melee attacks, and that, you know. Good thing I had a bit of a close call there, you know, not getting hit for like fucking 40 plus. Also, yeah, these bombs, oh fuck. Yeah, that could have fucking killed me there. See with that, it's just simply stay right in the middle lane and don't venture out and you will be safe. And that, you know. God damn. That was a bit of a disaster indeed. Oh boy. But yeah, so as far as the other news is concerned, also yeah, in fact he can do the same thing as Vorkaf and not turning off your bloody prayers. Also, yep, that was way too quick and that couldn't react. So indeed, bit of a disaster, but I do believe that is the last death I incurred. You know, that's just like, fuck me, I couldn't even fight Galvit with a half decent, you know, start, you know, it's just like, bloody hell. But, oh man. Also, that's searching indeed, but anyway, yeah. So as far as, what is it, the suspicious account hijackings, yeah, this is another thing that's been going on recently on Reddit, you know. A lot of people have been noticing that over the past week and a bit, that people's accounts have started to become just oddly hackable, more so than normal would be, and some of them are like, you know, you should know, like, to have a, not just a good password, not just a good PIN, not even with two-factor fucking authentication now, but also email authentication, you know? Like, yeah, all that. Some of these hacked people actually did have that, so it's like, the brainiacs here are thinking, alright, how could they pass all that? It has to be something to do with the fault, and perhaps there might be, and that, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know, where is the obvious fault? And what's causing this? So, you know, is there like a leak or sort of loophole in the security thing, you know? And I do believe social engineering is indeed one of those loopholes where it's like they ask you innocuous questions and that, you know, in an attempt to kind of get around you. The other one I hear, let me think. The other one I hear is that they will just try and hammer you, like the recovery stuff and that, just try and, you know, get little bits here and there. And Jagex has a bit of a fuck up where they can confirm certain things for you. Like, generally, alright, in my line of work, if there's any reason to, like, with clients and that, you ask them, like, security questions. Right? This is just a basic business practice, by the way. You know, you ask them things like their, you know, the real surname and forename and that. You ask them where they live. You know, you ask them, you know, about what else. You ask them basically details about, like, you know, if need to be, like, family, you know, security questions they themselves have assigned and that, you know, and such things. And you can use a little bit of leeway at that. You don't have to pass every single one of them, but pass the 3 out of 4, or in our case, 4 out of 5. You do that, you're pretty good. And I just need to be, you know, not to make sure that you actually get the correct answers for the following. But, you know, it's usually when you fail, you don't tell them what they failed on. You just say, oh, sorry, you know, you didn't pass it. That's it. You don't tell them anything. And that, but Jagex kind of is a bit of a fucky way of like saying, oh, you know, this bit was incorrect, that one's incorrect, and some of the hackers and that have, you know, been using this to try and pinpoint, like social engineering, you know, to try and see, you know, what ones don't work and that, and kind of eventually be able to conquer people's accounts and that, you know, through successful recovery attempts. But however, in spite of all that, there is a third problem. This is the same one, you know, if you had that whole, what is it, the login kind of rush and the robot bots constantly hammering login, this, you know, they've temporarily hacked it, you know, they're trying to remove the pin, and then they make it so the whole week and or 3 days they make your account inaccessible. Then once it's done, a little bit later, they'll suddenly turn off, go straight into it, and then they'll loot your bank all for free. And that. So the mobile client is a way to get around that, because for some reason it doesn't work the same way, but it's also what hackers use to try and get, I don't know the exact details in that. Some people say it's to do with tokens or something like that, you know, in regards to the passwords. Like, say you don't need a password to be able to log in, but how you do that if you don't have access to your mobile device, I have no idea. But it is something that people have been wary about, and surprisingly some people who have been hacked do actually use the mobile device in that, not really or anything like that. But oh man, yes, I've got to say though, as far as actual stuff like that's concerned, it is a bit frightening. That's why, indeed, alongside with not using the Rune I'm not like to ever really use a mobile device, just to keep myself on the safe front of things. You know, it's very convenient. Believe me, the amount of convenience I'm missing is a gargantuan amount. But at the end of the day, I value security above all else, and I mean, fuck, my job's kind of in line with that. So it's kind of like, yeah, it'd be unwise for me to start taking risks, and that, believe me, you know, it's not a wise move indeed. Yeah, you know. Also fucking love quadruple dose you tit. Man, but yeah, indeed, here we are getting to the finale of the Galvic, and now, you know, you'll notice it's based on the four elementals, starting off with fire, then moving over to air, next is water, and then finally earth. My favourite of the four elements. And this one's kind of one of the more tricky ones because he's constantly on the run, and that because he will stone the fuck out of you. And unlike with the Basilisk one, it is really lethal, like similar to the firebombs and that, which he does do as well. It's like really problematic. So just that's what you use the stamina for, and not just run around like eat tit, but ultimately making sure that, you know, you're constantly on the move. And yeah, soon enough it should be going down. But you know, just to kind of get in touch with this, I was kind of hoping that once they were done with Galvic and that, they would be able to have a hard mode that would be accessible via, you know, sacrificing Vorkath's head and that to kind of have another go on. Except this one would be a hard mode one, you know, so instead of 1200 it'd be 2000, instead of the damage, like everything would be just more damaging, but he would be like really, like, you know, the Dragon Fireball would be guaranteed death, like probably 120, 130. So yeah, indeed. Oh man, just all that fun shenanigans, and yep, 1500 OPP hit indeed, and well, yeah, all that. Yeah, Galvic slain indeed. Oh man, fitting in that, all things considered, and that, but oh man. And then you get a little touching scene with the funeral of indeed Bob the cat, and that Jagex the cat. That's indeed like they shall be missed, and that both in game and outside, and that. And I suppose it's rather fitting that they kind of do a sort of a tribute to him, this end and that, you know. Probably a bit of a more good reason than with the one in Yev anyway, and that, you know, coming from a good place in the heart and all, but yeah, man. So I suppose I shall finish up here because there's no doubt not a lot left to go, and that, but yeah, in the final part, I reckon I'll just finish up and yeah, see yous all at the Myth Guild. Tell them, folks.